Yeah, come on now.
Hey guys.
It's just a pineapple.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Here at the Swamp, get ready to beat LSU. Y'all tune in to Rule Number 1 podcast on Monday.
And we're back. Another episode, another week. Rule 1 podcast, man.
Oh, man.
Gosh.
Good old Rocky Top.
Woo!
Rocky Top, Tennessee.
You keep on asking why me and my partner here are in this orange. We're rocking the volunteer logos this week. We got a cool guest star, man.
Yeah, obviously, Brian and I are diehard Gator fans, but, during this season, I kind of been pulling for Tennessee. Obviously, they beat us, but, it's good to see, kind of a change in powers over the SEC.
Yeah.
But without further ado, this week we have Forrest. He is a grad assistant at University of Tennessee, obviously, and he's working mainly with the linebackers. So welcome in, Forrest.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks again for having me.
So you're in the facility right now, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I thought it was, like I said, best backdrop for for this deal here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. We had on Anna Bear. She's a volleyball player at Ole Miss, and so she kind of did that same ordeal.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of maybe compare and contrast throughout the SEC, and it'd be cool to have on another.
She didn't have the iconic checkered board, though.
Yeah.
She didn't really have any traditional, Ole Miss stuff in the background. That's not like that. I love the checkerboard end zones up at Tennessee.
Bro, it's this place is steeped in history.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I'm sure. I couldn't imagine, I know a lot about Florida football history. I would love to learn about the Vols history. Like my partner said here, I've been pulling for the Vols all season.
Yeah.
It sucks what happened to your guy Hendon Hooker. I pray for his quick recovery. I know he's going to be back for you guys and be better than ever. But dude, you've had a great season. Tennessee's back on the map.
Man, it was unbelievable, and it's been a blessing to be a part of this journey, especially having gone here for my undergrad, and I worked for the program as an undergraduate, and it was really it's been special to be a part of, to say the least.
Yeah, Forrest. So we want to talk a little bit about being a grad assistant. So you're working mainly with linebackers, right?
Right. Yeah. So what all that entails, and it's kind of a hard deal to explain to you're in grad school and you're doing football. It's essentially like you're in training. It's like an apprenticeship. Like you were an electrician. You're working with a linesman. You're learning from him. Well, in this situation, I'm learning from Power 5 football coaches, to say the least.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
it's an internship. You're working. I assume you're working your way to a head coaching job one day.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully 20 years, maybe less. That'll be the case.
And I hope it happens.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Obviously,
it's a great goal to strive for.
Football's a big part of your life, and we ask all of our guests this question when they come on our podcast. It's in the name. Forrest, what's your number one rule to live by?
Man, I'll be honest with you. Respect everybody. Like a lot of people, especially nowadays. That's just something that personally I feel is missing from society. Just respect everyone with their opinions, and regardless of, you can learn something from everybody. Like, you can learn somebody from a billionaire, you can learn something from the homeless dude on the street. Like, everybody has knowledge to share about how they got to where they're going, and like how they got to where they got. So you can learn what not to do or what to do. You can always learn from anybody. So just respect everyone, man.
Yeah, I love that. That's, honestly, kind of what we're trying to do with this podcast. We tell people our mission statement is we want to bring out the extraordinary in everybody. And whether that's, like you said, from the homeless guy on the side of the road, or if it's a billionaire, we want to learn, from the homeless guy, what are your goals? What are your ambitions in life? And then from the billionaire, maybe, hey, how'd you get here? So it's kind of cool to hear everybody's story, and that's kind of what we're trying to highlight here.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you take those morals that you have onto the field with you when you're, teaching, coaching, running guys through drills. I'm sure there's a mutual respect between you and your group.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting, I'm only 22, and a lot of the guys I work with or coaching, those guys are same age, maybe a few years younger than me. So I try to have obviously I want the respect and I want them to listen to me, but I also try to respect them and listen to them and hear what they have to say too. Like, I'm not going to be, MFing guys. Like, at the end of the day, like, it is just a game, and as a game I love, and I want to win more than anybody else. But like, sometimes yelling and screaming and all that, like, won't get what you want to get done. Sometimes it's just, hey, why'd you do this? Like, you know better. I know you know better. You explain it to me. We'll talk about it. We'll work through it, and we'll just move along, man.
Yeah, I feel like especially with like coaches relating to players, there's so many different ways to relate to a player. Some of those guys, I know myself as a player, didn't do necessarily well with the coaches like crawling down your throat. But there's a lot of times there are guys where it's like scream at me, yell at me. That's how I get better.
Yeah, there's some dudes that respond to that, and there's other guys who don't respond to it at all. Right. It's just you got to kind of have that feeling as a coach that, like, hey, like, this guy can do this too, this guy can't, you know?
That's a good instinct. And, you know, we had a coach on in episode 5. He is a small baseball coach at Valpo University who kind of mentioned the same thing. Mm-hmm. He said that, you know, you got to have a mutual respect between you and your players, but you got to be able to learn from them and grow with them, but you also got to be able to read them and know what's going to affect them. I think having that ability is going to propel you to whatever dreams and aspirations your coaching career can go for. And I'm excited to see. Really excited.
Yeah, I mean, ideally that would be the case. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you're just, I mean, people, it's kind of a, you know, as a fan, I myself got, you know, caught up in this, but you got to remember, they're people too, man. Like, they're learning, they want to win just as much as you do. Like, it's just, you got to have the understanding these are people too, and, you know, they're learning, they're trying to get better, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Forrest, I mean, we've talked a little bit about, like, your current situation. How did you get here? How did you get to this opportunity to be able to be a grad assistant at the University of Tennessee?
Man, it's a long road. Like, you know, going back to high school with you, obviously I played, you know, coming out, small offers, just thought, man, I'm done with football. I'm done with, you know, sports. I'm going to go live a regular life, go be a college student, whatever. Got here about 2 months in, I was like, oh, shit, like, I need to get back to sports. Like, this is killing me.
Yeah.
So I actually, totally unrelated to football, I started working in marketing downstairs here, the athletic department. Just, I figured I'll meet some people, hopefully find my way upstairs to football, whatever. Fortunate enough, met some people who steered me in the direction to working under the previous staff. And I worked in recruiting under that staff, and then ended up, when Coach Heupel and his staff came, I was fortunate enough that they retained me here, even as an undergrad. They could have told me to, you know, kick rocks, whatever. They kept me around and gave me this great opportunity. I'm forever grateful to everyone that's part of the staff, and the last staff too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So you said you were in the marketing department before?
Yeah, man. I was it was called Fan Experience. Like, it's just, you know, when you go to games, I'm trying, you know, this is 4 or 5 years ago now. You know, you go to games, you know, they do all the promotional stuff, like Coca-Cola, like Johnsonville, whatever.
Okay.
And they do all the, you know, lights and all that fun stuff. So that was totally unrelated, but they play a pivotal role in the game day experience for fans, and they do a great job. So
now before, were you a marketing major? But like, what was your major? What made you get into it?
I came in undecided. It was just the first opportunity in sports that presented itself. I took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, came in undecided. So
I think that's how a lot of people are when they go into college. Like, I had no clue what I wanted to do going in, man. I thought I wanted to be a sports physical therapist, and then I realized that's a lot of anatomy. And
yeah, that's a lot of science. Not for me.
And I'm not good at anatomy, so I had to find a different direction. And then I found myself looking at ag classes because I'm living in Central Florida, and you know how it is around here.
Oh yeah, man, I know.
And I was like, okay, I'll throw myself into that, and I know there'll be a job waiting for me. Did a semester, hated it. It was terrible.
Yeah, oranges get pretty boring after a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I found the coolest guy on my campus. My communications head guy, bro, changed my life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody, I personally didn't. I'm graduated with a ag degree, but I feel like everybody in college at least changes their major once or twice.
Oh, I did 3.
it's like, you're 18, you come into college and people are telling you, hey, you need to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life for right now. I'm like, bro, I'm 18. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, for real. I mean, you just graduate high school and you get thrown out into the real world first semester out on your own, and you're supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of life. It's crazy.
So, Forrest, you've gone to Tennessee since you were a freshman. So you left Polk County and headed straight for Knoxville, and you haven't been back.
No, actually, I wouldn't say that. I come back, I see people, I just, but yes, I mean, as far as, like, my family ended up moving up here. It's been awesome. It was kind of wild, man. Like, coming out of high school, I toured a few schools, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to a big SEC school, but not Florida, like, not Georgia. Like, I just want to try something different.
Yeah.
Something, no one I know has ever done. So Tennessee worked, and here I am, man.
Man, I see all kinds of wild, videos of how beautiful it is in Knoxville, the stadium, and the downtown area. Like, I really would love to make it up there to Neyland and watch a game, dude. I would have paid good money to be in that stadium for the Alabama game this year.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about that a little bit, Forrest.
Yeah, man, that was one of the wildest experiences I have ever been a part of. And that's saying a lot, because in 2 years I've seen some crazy stuff. I mean, our Ole Miss game last year with, everybody throwing stuff on the field at the end of the game. And then, gosh, like,
what about
our Florida game, this year, like, sold out, checkered Neyland. Like, I mean, truly, when I say this, like, and I'm not saying this as, like, because I work here or whatever, I truly believe, like, this is the best fan base in the country. As far, like, when this thing gets rolling, man, it's undefeated. Like, it's incredible. And then, like, carrying on to the Alabama game, man, like, that was, I think I've told some people, like, you talk about a roller coaster, man. Like, that game had everything, ups and downs. Like, you're playing one of the best teams in the past decade. Like, they're a fantastic team. They're still in it right now. Like, and then when that ball went through the uprights, dude, like, my life, I blacked out, bro. Like,
I'm sure everybody did. That stadium went crazy.
Oh, it went nuts,
dude. That's like, you just saw a sea of people hit the
oh my god,
field.
Man. I saw that ball go through the uprights. I turned around to go give my headset to the guy that handles all of our headsets and everything, and like, there's like 100 people around me. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is not real life.
How hard was it to get back to the locker room after that?
Man, for me, it wasn't that hard because everybody was in the, I want to say the south end zone. I don't remember. The other end zone from where I was, which was down by our locker room, because they were tearing down the goalpost, right? And so it wasn't that hard for me at first, but I know some of the guys, I mean, it took, gosh, dude, time was flying and hours felt like minutes. Like, it was crazy. So, I mean, I think it took a few guys like an hour, maybe hour and a half. You stick out there, enjoy the scenes, whatever.
How did they get the goalpost out of there?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know. I still don't know. I guess they went through the away tunnel, because the away tunnel leads out to, like, this main pedestrian walkway deal, and it will take you right up to the road. And then the other one, I have no idea. Like, that was one of the more impressive things I've ever seen from.
They were going to throw it off the back of the stadium.
No, so they ended up taking it to the river. They took one goalpost to the river, and they took one down the strip. I don't know what ended up happening with that one. The strip for us is like where all the college bars, the whole college scene is. Like, it was, dude, it was wild.
I don't know if it's true or not, but the next morning I woke up and I was on Twitter, and Barstool Sports tweeted a picture that went viral from one of the frat houses. Apparently a frat house had cut a piece of it, like, off.
Oh,
and they
were out in the front yard with the Sawzall, like, cutting it up for people.
Yeah.
Take home. No, that was real. Totally real.
That's crazy. So wait, so you were out there, like, helping cut it all up?
No, man. I had, as soon as that ball went to the uprights, I went, found my people that were there at the game, my buddies, all that, and then I got off that field and found my cigar, bro. Because, like, that was, like,
I love it.
5 years. That's been, I shouldn't say 5 years. 5 years in the making for me, but man, like, 15 years of just
heartbreak sometimes.
Heartbreak for this fan base. Like, people don't understand, like, this rivalry, like, Tennessee, Alabama, like, yeah, like it's awesome we beat them. But like back in like the '90s and all that, like this rivalry has been like one of streaks. Like they go on a streak of 15, we go on a streak of 7. Like this rivalry is full of hatred. Like if y'all listen to Riley Green, like you listen to what's that song?
Alabama. He sings about I hate crimson red. Yeah.
Hell of a way to go. Like that's this rivalry, man. Like these two fan bases hate each other.
I love how you mentioned that because like the SEC slogan, it just means more. It really does to people around these parts, bro. I've come to notice I have a lot of friends that live, in the northern parts of the country, and they love NFL football. But down here, it means more. Like you mentioned earlier, you had the fan base decked out in the checkered around the stadium when they played Florida. That's asking 90, well, actually, it's Neyland Stadium, so 100,000 plus people to color coordinate. And they're so dedicated that they do it. They do it.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Good. How does that work? Do they put it on the ticket, like what color to wear?
No, so they have, that's what I was about to say. They have this website that, throughout the whole week, like we're pushing like checkerneal.com, and like you go in, type your section, type your seat, and it tells you orange or white.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so like with Florida, I know they'll post stuff and it's like, oh, we're having a blue out. Everybody wear blue or everybody wear orange. Obviously, that's very different, but I can kind of relate.
Yeah, but like when we go to a Florida, I went to the game where they wore white at home and it was supposed to be a white out. It's like they never do it like Tennessee does. They never do it like Penn State. When it's a whiteout, it's a whiteout. Like everything. There's not.
That's another great fan base too, man. Like I work with some guys who work there, and they speak very highly of them. When I say that, like obviously they love working here too, but like they talk about like the environments there. They're crazy.
Man, I can't imagine being lucky enough to be in your shoes to go to a different SEC stadium almost every weekend.
Oh my gosh, man. It's a blessing, bro. Like I always, my freshman year, I was like, it'd be cool to go to every SEC stadium, and here I am getting to do it. I mean, and thanks to this job, like the experiences this job has afforded me are second to none.
So with being able to go to all those stadiums, which have been your favorite, obviously, besides Tennessee?
Man, that's always a dreaded question because it is so hard. I will say, I'll give you a top 3 because I really can't give you one.
I like that.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah,
I like that.
It changes based off the week, really. But, this was my first year going to South Carolina, and obviously that's a touchy subject, like whatever. But awesome stadium. I wouldn't put them at 1, maybe 3. 2, I guess it would have to be Alabama's.
It's nice.
And then first is a tie between Georgia and Florida. Like those two stadiums, like as far as hostile atmosphere, man, like those two are up there.
Man, I've always been curious to experience a game on the grounds of Ben Hill Griffin Stadium.
Oh, I bet it's nuts.
And I couldn't imagine doing it in like an opposing uniform. There's no way. Mm-hmm. Like I'd be shaking. My legs would be shaking. Like I'd be.
Oh, bro, the fans, they get after you. I mean, not that honestly, like it's just you gotta separate. Like it doesn't affect the game going on, but like like it's still cool. Like people hate you. It's honestly like I love home games, but like away games they're a different kind of animal, and they're so much fun, bro.
Yeah. Actually, Forrest knows Brock. We had Brock Hutchinson on, and he was a University of Florida cheerleader. And Brock actually sent us a video of him shouting out the podcast from the swamp when we were getting ready to play LSU. That's one of the little snippets on our intro. But that was super cool to be able to see his perspective on the field while people are coming into the stadium and getting warmed up.
I'll tell you what, the last year when we went down there, I knew Brock was doing that. I hollered at him down there, and then when they came up here, I saw him when he was up here, which is really cool. Just seeing other, for us, SMO, LCS alumni doing cool things, and just in general, like guys from Lakeland and all that doing really cool things. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, he said, Brock even said when he went to Tennessee, that was one of his favorite trips. He absolutely loved Knoxville.
He mentioned a couple places he visited, but I can't remember the names off the top of my head. But I remember how he said the one across the street from this one.
Yeah, he would be easier.
Yeah.
Forrest, I mean, you don't have to answer this question if, you're worried about your job or anything. You can kind of just say pass. What's the best, college town bar or strip? Where does everybody go on the strip?
Man, no, I'll definitely answer that. I mean, just go in here. It's a matter of preference, man. Like, people go there. We have two places. You have the old city, which is like, you got more of for like the young adults go. So you got your country style bar, you got your club style deal there. You got kind of a mix of both, like not country and club, but like just kind of a middle ground, I guess. And then you go, and then the strip, it's more the college age folks. I always went to leaderboard, man. Like, that was my spot when I was a legal age, of course, to go to.
Of course.
I have a question about the things surrounding the stadium. I've gone to 3 SEC stadiums now. I went to Tuscaloosa, like you said. It's beautiful. It's an NFL stadium. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's what I describe it. It's literally an NFL stadium.
Yeah, but everything around it's what makes the experience. They have like the Alabama Football Hall of Fame. You go in there, they have all their freaking mock trophies on display. It's cool, all the mock rings or whatever. But they have all these, things that fans can go see and look at outside of the stadium before the game. Does Tennessee have any cool little, you should check this place out when you're coming to Neyland to watch it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Our campus is full of, just little tidbits of information, history, whatever. I think, just the university as a whole does a really good job of, paying homage to the people that came before, the people who work here now, whether that be in academics or, athletics, whatever it may be. But just being on the football side of it, you have Peyton Manning Pass, and you look up, and you're down by the stadium looking up Peyton Manning Pass, you have a checkerboard on it, and then right under that's the Power T. The Power T is synonymous with greatness in college football. But then, right behind, if you literally turn around from how you would be looking at Peyton Manning Pass, you have a statue of, Coach Neyland, General Neyland, the most winningest coach in our history. That dude, I could go on a whole diatribe about that guy. That dude, crazy what he did. He coached football, went to World War II, was a general in World War II, came back, won some more national championships. Just a real live dude, bro. It's crazy. And then you keep going. And then you go to in front of Gate 21A, and we have all of our African-American trailblazers, like T. Martin, Condrich Holloway, those guys that came before, the guys that are here now, and really laid the path for, civil rights and all those great things. And, it's awesome. It's really, really cool. We walk by those statues every time. We do the ball walk, just as a reminder of who came before you and, what's at stake. You know what I mean?
That's 100%. That's awesome. It blows my mind because I can't wait to go to Neyland. I'm sold.
Oh yeah, that's definitely on the bucket list.
I'm sold.
And I feel like the whole SEC environment. I mean, I know college football as a whole is very traditional, but I feel like it's very predominant in the SEC. Yeah. Everybody has their own traditions. They all have,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Their kind of like you were saying, respecting the elders or the people that have come in the past. I know Florida has, they've got the Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel, and Steve Spurrier, statues. I really love that, how they really want to highlight the people who paved the way. And so, especially with Florida, too.
Definitely going to have to check out Peyton Manning Path. That sounds...
Peyton Manning Pass, right? Or is it Path?
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, definitely. That's too cool of a name not to try.
Oh, yeah. You got to look at it. Got to go check it out. So Forrest, what are some of the perks with being a grad assistant at University of Tennessee?
Man, number one, obviously there's the gear, all that stuff. That stuff's whatever. I could live without it. Honestly, getting to my first job at this university of all places, is a dream come true. It's you couldn't ask for a better place to have your first job at, because I mean, in reality, like we've talked about, this place is, when people see the Power T, no one's oh, that's Texas. No, everyone knows that's Tennessee.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you can say the same thing about the Longhorns, and you can say the same thing about the Longhorns too. You see the Longhorn logo, you're not going, oh, that's Tennessee. No, our orange, the Power T, everything about it. Starting out here, best thing that could have happened to me. The guys I get to work with, from Coach Heupel on down to the equipment managers, bro, like everyone here, top-notch people, like everyone here is like, not to be cheesy, but like elite, bro. Like this place is.
Oh, you're getting there. The program's getting there, man. Y'all
are. Like, this place, like when this place is rolling, this is like the best atmosphere in college football, and it truly like everything that's great about college football is here. You know what I mean? And you can say that about other places too, but in my experience, like this is as good as it gets.
Well, I feel like also with Tennessee being good, you know, myself and Brian and I being Florida fans, with Tennessee being good, it only adds that much more of an interest to watch the SEC.
Yeah,
because
more
you
fun.
put in another SEC school in the top 10. It's like you never have a bad game to watch.
Oh yeah,
no, you never do, and like it adds more to those rivalries, man. Like all of us, you know, sitting here talking are too young to really remember, but back in the day, like early 2000s, late 90s, like Tennessee, Florida, bro, that decided who was going to the SEC championship and who was probably going to the national championship.
Yeah,
like
100%.
that game meant a lot. And the same thing goes for Tennessee, Alabama. The same thing goes for Florida, Georgia. Like when these teams are good, college football is just better. Same goes for Miami, Nebraska, Texas, like all these blue blood programs. When they're good, college football is better. And like I love the group of 5 schools. They're awesome. Like having one or two of them be good every year, like it's great. But when you have these historic programs that are great, there's nobody. If you really like college football, like you cannot argue that doesn't make college football better.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I agree 100% too.
That's whenever it gets to the college football playoffs where it gets thrown up and you're like, what do we do? Because you've got these SEC schools that are beating up on each other, and it's like, okay, you got a 3-loss team, but they've lost 3 times to top 5 schools.
Forrest, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw an ESPN notification, I think about 2 days ago now, that the college football playoff could be expanding to 12 teams way sooner than what we think.
I thought it was 2024.
No, I've heard that, and you know, obviously, you know, I only know as much as you guys know with that stuff, but you know, for me with that, and that's obviously a contentious topic amongst, you know, college football fans, but honestly, to me, bro, I feel like it should be 6 at the most. Like, because to me, bro, if you lose twice, and you know, I'm speaking just as a fan here, like, if you lose twice, like you shouldn't have a shot to play for the national championship. You're clearly not the best team. Like, that's what makes the college football playoff so great is if you lose twice, bro, you're out of it. Like, that's what it is. Don't try. One loss, like, hey, everyone slips up once, but twice, man, no, you shouldn't be playing for the national championship.
Especially whenever, now, I think it would be interesting is because you always have that one undefeated team that doesn't get invited to college football. Not always, but there have been a couple situations where there's these small
like
D1s.
The UCFs.
Yeah, and they're not.
Cincinnati?
Yeah.
They got in last year.
How about
UCF in 2017? Like,
yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, are you really going to put a 2-loss team into the playoffs and not an undefeated team? It's just very touchy subject. So I completely agree with that, Forrest. If you got 2 losses, no shot, you're out, bud.
Yeah, and that's regardless of, you know, strength of schedule, whatever. But I mean, that definitely plays into it with those group of 5 schools. Like, you know, when they're looking at that, they're looking at, well, who have you played? Like,
right.
You know,
I mean, you can. But even to me, like, I don't know. It's a really touchy subject, and everybody comes from different angles on it. So
it seems like the whole, you know, realm of college football is changing now. You know, the SEC is
for sure
adding 2 teams. The NIL deal is literally the wild, wild west of, you know, money and where it goes.
Oh, it's free agency of the college sports now.
It's crazy. And, you know, it's what's going to happen next is what I'm asking. We get to this 12-team playoff. Is it going to, you know, diminish the meaning of the college football playoff? Because, like, right now, if you make
that's
it.
Another thing, too. That's very real, too.
If you make it right now, 4 teams. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like what you were saying, like, about, you know, expanding conferences and all that. Like, man, a lot of these rivalries are, you know, again, we know we keep going back to this. It's steeped in history. Like, man, when, you know, way back when, and obviously we've come farther, where we are now. But way back when, like when you were born in Tennessee, you grew up hating Alabama. You didn't know why, but it's because you were born in Tennessee.
Yep.
And I mean, truly, that's what a lot of these rivalries were born out of.
Yeah.
Because these two schools hate each other, and this is how they settled it. They settled it on the football field. And then, but now you're adding, to the Big Ten, Michigan and Ohio playing UCLA. There's no hatred there. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. Those two brands playing each other, but it takes away from the regionality of college football.
And that's what Texas and Oklahoma coming to the SEC, and I think it's 2024. Obviously that's a big rivalry between the two, the Red River rivalry. But same with Texas A&M and Missouri coming into the SEC. It's strange because I feel like they're broadening the SEC so much. And yeah, it's cool to have these different teams in it, but now it's you have to make all new traditions. I feel like, and it's just out for the highest bidder at some point.
I think.
Go ahead, Forrest.
No, you're good, man. It's touchy. It's just weird.
And everybody's going to have a different opinion too.
I think I read the other day that Greg Sankey was, mentioning that when Texas and Oklahoma join, that there's going to be no more divisions. It's just going to be one league. Whoever has the best conference record at the end of the year, you're playing for the SEC championship. I don't know if I like that. Yeah. I've been an SEC fan since I could walk. It's always been the East versus West, man. I don't know if I want a one division thing like that.
Yeah, good thing we don't have to make that decision. We'll just kind of play it by ear.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're just the Joe Schmoes that get to watch it on TV. Well, Forrest doesn't, but
yeah, he gets to be on TV.
But hey, listen, those decisions still matter for us too. But I mean, hey, I'm cool with whatever. As long as we get to play football, man, I'm cool with it.
I love it.
So, Forrest, what are kind of your future goals? Do you want to try to progress through Tennessee in terms of your coaching career, or would you consider coaching, get a head coaching job at a high school level, go to a smaller school? What's your goals?
Not to be, not to downplay it, but right now I'm taking it a day at a time. But because this is just a job. This is one of those jobs where you got to take a day at a time and enjoy it every single day. Because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Oh yeah,
and get the most out of it every single day. But to that point, I'm fine. Originally, I was oh, I got to coach college football. That's obviously the goal. Maybe coaching the NFL, whatever. I just want to coach football. The main thing about sports to me, and this is this sounds cheesy. It truly does, but the money, the glamour, whatever. I don't care. It does not matter to me. What does matter to me, and this is true for all sports, and what I think all coaches should strive to be or do, I want to have an impact on young men's lives, or young athletes' lives. We'll put it like that. Because there's so many people. Whether it's your average guy working up there at frickin' the business downtown, whatever. Or, freaking Khalil Mack in the NFL. A lot of people would tell you the most influential person in their life, one of the most influential people in their life was a coach.
Yeah.
Whether that be high school, college, professional. When you pouring into people and then seeing that person do well and take your teaching and, do well in life, that's what matters the most. So whether that be a coach at a high school level, coaching at the college level, whether that be head coach, position coach, as long as I'm getting to have an impact on young people's lives, I'm cool with it.
That's awesome, man. And that's how good coaches are still around, because there's, every single coach will say oh yeah, I'm in it for the players and this and that. But, it only takes one coach from a player's perspective to be are you really in it for the players? Or everybody has that one bad coach that they remember, but they also have the one good one. And so obviously everybody's goal is to be the good one. You just have to kind of be able to differentiate from that.
Yeah. Yeah. But to answer your question in a long roundabout sort of way, head coach, any level, figure it out as I go.
That's awesome.
I like it.
Wherever the good one leads me.
You just, that's a great perspective to have. I like it. You want to be around football? You want to coach football? Any job, anywhere, bring it on. That's a mindset of a good coach.
And you've got a great stepping stone here too, whether it be with Tennessee or whatever, whatever's down the road. You're starting to build a great resume. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I've said, and I've said it a million times, and I'll keep saying it. Like being here, like it's not about me. It's not by any stretch of the imagination. It's about the power team. It's about the people that got this place to where it is. It's about the people that I work with. Like we work as a team. We work as a one unit. Like people I work with, elite people, great people. Couldn't speak more highly of them. Like that's what it's about. Like great people working with great people to achieve, championship goals. Like that's what it's about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Forrest, I know in the past you before you were kind of working with the football team, were you like a lumberjack or something? I always saw you post pictures of you in a forest.
Yeah, man. So like my life's been the past 5 years of my life have just been wild for me. Like when I left LCS, I never thought in a million years I'd be doing this or doing what I did. So I worked as a wildland firefighter out west. I worked in Montana and I worked in Idaho. Great people. I worked with great people, and I learned a lot about myself in the second go around of it. First time it was awesome, great. Second time was great too. I just learned a lot about myself, and that job was really, really cool. Talk about really cool experiences, man. Like there's value in every experience, right? Whether it be like me, you're freaking running around on Saturdays in these awesome stadiums with, freaking amazing brands, whatever. That's awesome. I love it. But man, out there tromping around the woods, working these forest fires with the guys that you become close with, not by choice, but because you have to. Like you got to learn to trust this dude because you're doing dangerous work. Like,
right.
That job, awesome, great experience.
Yeah, dude, and I feel like that's an inspiration to anybody out there that's listening. Like, if you want to change it up, man, and you want to follow your dreams like our buddy Forrest here, he got out of the forest. He's in a stadium every weekend to do it. Go for it.
What's crazy about it is like originally, like, that was my dream. Like, I was like, I want to do this for forever. And then I got this opportunity. I was like, well, shit, like, I can't give this one away.
Yeah.
I'm going to run with this one. Like, the one thing I've told people is, like, the best way, in my mind, to set yourself up, not for failure, to set yourself up to not be disappointed, and that's the way I've always done it. Like, you have a realistic goal. You have that's possible. That would be awesome. And then you have your dream. That way you always have a goal, like, for sure, like, high percentage chance of it happening. The next one, like, 50, 60, that'd be awesome. 10%. That way, like, all of your goals are achievable and you're happy either way. You know what I mean?
Right. You're just climbing the ladder at that point.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like, oh shit, like I got to do this now. No, like this was what I wanted to do in the first place, but maybe the dream will come down the line.
Yeah, exactly. And for instance, like there's a lot of people out there that don't know what they want to do with their life. Go out and try something new. Like there's plenty of opportunities out there. Like if you get an opportunity to go do something, jump, go for it. Like what's stopping you? You might absolutely love it and be like, I want to go do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And like one of the things too, like I think everyone kind of feels like, oh, I got to go to college.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
This is coming from three guys that have college degrees.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. And like, dude, go to trade school. Go to trade. Like, there's a shortage of trade workers, man. Like, we need electricians. We need plumbers. We need all these guys. Like, man, it ain't glamorous, but shit, still kind of a cool job. Like, you do, like, working on power lines after a hurricane. Like, dude, you're the hero. Like, everybody loves you. Like,
and you're making bank.
Yeah. Go get
certified. You're making bank, dude.
Dude, go get your certifications. Like, dude, there's all kinds of routes.
And those are real life skills now. Like, some electrical's messing up in my house. Well, I'm not gonna call anybody. I can just do it myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's very true.
I know more people that are making better money that didn't go the college route now than the people that got the degree and then that went to go use their degree in their field. And
ultimately, man,
it's just we have an influx. Sorry, we have an influx of so many people right now getting a degree, and it's almost like it's not worth anything. We need people to be able to go do those trades.
Yeah.
To be able to go fill it out, like you were saying.
Yeah, and to that point, like the college degree, it's awesome. Like, you know, there's still like only 33% of people in the United States have their college degree. I don't have the reference source, whatever, for that, but I heard it somewhere a long time ago. Probably changed a bit. But like, the only thing a college degree provides, in my mind, like, yeah, it's important, awesome to get. Like, it's an awesome achievement. Nobody can take away that piece of paper. It's awesome. Highly encouraged. If you can do it, just to do it. But like, only thing it provides is upward mobility in certain job fields.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, there's still job fields out there, like, again, electrician, where hard work and experience will get you way farther than a college degree ever would.
100%. And one thing that I would help, like, encourage people if they are thinking about college, I would say go, because it's not gonna hurt you. Like, obviously it costs money, but I know the biggest thing I took from college is I went into college so passionate about baseball, and I was, you know, Brian and I played college baseball, so on fire for baseball, and, you know, not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And then as I graduated and got older, or whatever, grew throughout the years, I moved more into my passion for agriculture, which was my major, and absolutely on fire for agriculture. And then by the time I was graduating, I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm done with baseball. It's no big deal. And it's kind of cool how over those 4 years you develop into an adult, and it kind of gives you that buffer period than rather just going straight into the workforce.
For sure. No, that's totally true, man. Sorry for dumping on agriculture earlier. I didn't mean to.
You're good. It's not for everybody.
I'm all for agriculture, but I also understand Brian's point there about how it can get boring too. I mean, if that's not your thing, it's not your thing. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Like, college is like great experience. You have nothing to lose if you do it the right way.
Yeah,
agree.
You can also have a lot of bad habits, but I mean, that's life though. Like,
right.
You can go through life and meet. I mean, a lot of life is just who you hang out with, man. You surround yourself with good people, good things will probably happen.
Very true.
Bad things will probably happen.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, I feel like this is a great time. We're kind of getting to know the true Forrest, so I feel like this is a great time to move into the snap questions.
Snap questions. All right. Forrest, we ask everybody this question on the episode. We, it's kind of a marquee. Mm-hmm. If you could pick anybody, any time period throughout history to have dinner with, 3 people, who are they?
Oh, man. Say one is definitely Bill Walsh, was the head coach of the 49ers, legendary coach. Like, wrote a book that I started reading. I need to get back to reading it. It's, oh gosh, it's something, it sounds bad because I was speaking so highly that I can't remember the title of the damn book. But there's a book written by him and talks about how to build a winning organization, or Finding the Winning Edge by Bill Walsh. That's the book. Awesome book. You know, would love to talk with him. He's one of those people that I would say I build what I want to become. If I could become Bill Walsh, obviously I want to become my own person, but if I could become like Bill Walsh and be in that, same category with him, I'm probably doing all right.
Oh yeah. 100%.
You said how many people? 3?
3.
Yep.
There's 1. 2, gosh. Probably Dwight Eisenhower, man. Like, the weight of the world rests on your shoulders. Like, that was a pivotal time in world history. That's a guy that was a leader of men. Like, he managed to lead an army through D-Day, through France, through Germany. Like, that guy knows how to lead men and knows how to work with people. Like, talk about different backgrounds, man. Like, you're working with, the British, the Russians, like, who, later on turned into be a big, issue. The Cold War and all that. But, like, still, like, that guy got it. And I would love to sit down with him and just pick his brain. How do you lead people? Like, I coach football. And, like, obviously football and war are very different things. But if you can lead somebody to possibly lose their life, you could lead somebody to play football. That's somebody.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
response.
That is. We have not had anything like that.
Not
yet.
Even close.
But I love that answer. That's why I love this question, because you get so many different answers and it reads into everybody's background and gets to know you as a person. All right, what's number
Yeah.
3?
Number three. Oh man, I'm doing these off the rip here. Oh gosh, man.
To kind of put in perspective for us, like to kind of let you have a little time to think. Mine was Robin Williams was my first one.
That's a good one.
Matthew McConaughey was my second one, and then Elon Musk was my third. And so it kind of be deep theological, because Robin Williams had a lot of theological ideas. He was a stand-up comedian, obviously hilarious and one hell of an actor. Matthew McConaughey is very similar in kind of his ideals and the way he thinks. He's very much of like energy based, like putting off good vibes kind of, and it's like it's very kind of relatable, very cool to kind of just be like, hey, just think positively and everything positive, and it's kind of weird how things end up like that. Then you got Elon, one of the richest men in the world, the alien.
Man, you know, one of the guys, you know, you said one person, but Neil Armstrong.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like, this is something I've been thinking of recently, and you said Matthew McConaughey, and that's what tripped this. Interstellar, great movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Man, like, have you ever tried to wrap your mind around being sent to the moon?
Yeah.
Dude,
Like, think about how crazy it is. Just for 1 second. Just, like, think about it.
he's
Like,
oh man, he's about to open up a can of worms.
Don't get into it, Brian. Brian's big into conspiracy
like
theories.
seriously, man. Like,
I
somebody
love
tells you,
space.
hey, dude, Interstellar got me into it, right? Just think about it. Like, someone's like, hey, we're sending you to the moon. You're going to be up there, really, really far away. You're going to walk there. You're going to get back on this little ship deal and fly back.
That's insane.
And we don't even know if it works.
Dude, your phone has more computing power than that thing did. That thing took 2 people to the moon.
That's insane.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's very
Like,
true. That is
yeah.
very true.
To have a conversation with that guy, like, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why did you do that?
Yeah, and you got to think, was it like just straight luck?
Yeah.
Or was it like, you know?
Dude, you got to think about all the things that have to go right for that to happen the way it did.
Yeah.
Very true. I don't know if
I
it's
thought
luck.
Brian was about to get in the conspiracy theory
no,
of
I
them
just
not
love,
landing.
I just love space. I just love what could be out there because it's ever going, man. You never know what could be out there.
Hey, man, we're going to be sending people to Mars here within the next 20 years.
I think
Yeah.
Elon's already there himself. I think he just flies back and forth.
Probably, bro.
I love that 3. That was a perfect 3.
Yeah, it was good.
Forrest, if you could go to any other sporting event, you know, besides a football event, what are you going to go to? You going to catch a baseball game, MMA fight?
Oh, bro, that's a hard one. I got 3 that again, I'm going to go to the top 3 things. I really struggle to pick just one thing. Man, you got the World Series, like American history, like that's about as American as it gets. I could go to a Game 7 of a World Series, bucket list stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, also bucket list stuff.
Oh,
Hockey gets
that'd be
crazy,
cool.
dog. The World Cup going on right now. Like, and I know, like, obviously American soccer, they call football, whatever, dude. Like, you know how cool, like, think about how crazy this is, too. Like, you get 32 countries, well, really, I think 64, however many play in the group stage, I can't remember, maybe it's 32, to come play soccer in one place and nothing go wrong. Like, I know it doesn't seem like that crazy, but, like,
No
dude,
turmoil.
you had the U.S. and Iran playing soccer on the same field with the history those 2 countries have with each other.
Right.
Like, that's insane. That's really cool that we're able to do that and put our differences aside just to play a game.
And citizens of both countries in the stadium together watching it.
Yeah.
And totally civil. Totally civil.
Yep.
That's crazy. I love that. It's a great perspective. You want to get the next one?
Yeah, I do. I'm kind of glad he says the World Cup because it kind of leads into the next question. Forrest, if you could travel like anywhere in the world, where would you go?
And I'll tell you what, the old country guy in me just wants to go down to Mexico, maybe go fishing for a little bit. Maybe never come back, might come back. I don't know. Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett.
There you go.
Yeah.
So would you go like more of like Cancun or like, you know, native or?
Cancun, bro, like there's a million different places. I would go to Mexico, Fiji. I'd probably I'd settle on Fiji because that's just a place like
Beach
nobody
guy.
really goes to.
Cancun's in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just saying, like,
Oh, yeah.
Look at mountain
yeah.
guy. That's the crazy thing. A mountain guy, I just miss saltwater fishing, bro.
Yeah.
I miss it so much.
I bet.
I feel like, I've always, me and my girlfriend have talked about it, like moving to the mountains one day because she likes that area. And I love the beach. Like, don't get me wrong, but I love the mountains too. And I would love to move up there. But I feel like I'd get like Forrest here and be like,
Big time.
man, I need to get back to the saltwater now.
Yeah, I mean, because Forrest was raised in Florida. So, I mean, he's big saltwater guy.
Anna Maria, freaking all those places. But when I was there, I was like, well, I want to live in the mountains. It's, human condition. You want what you don't have.
Exactly.
Very true.
Exactly. You got to move to Hawaii. You'll get the mountains and the saltwater.
And the beach.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Except they got a volcano erupting right there. I don't know if I want that right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, just you can hop to a different island or for a little
Try
bit.
something.
Yeah, just go sit down on a boat, watch go up, and
Exactly.
and smoke, whatever.
Exactly. So this brings it to our last question. Forrest, nowadays $100,000. It's a blessing if somebody gives it to you, but at the same time, it's not necessarily life changing within itself. So if somebody gave you $100,000 right now, what would you do with it?
Man, I'm investing in that thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm investing in the thing. Whether that be in business ventures, whether like open a dang Chick-fil-A. Man, Chick-fil-A is make you some money now.
Especially on SEC game days.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. Or stocks, man. Like, it takes money to make money, baby. So
Very true.
Hey, scared money don't make money, right? Ain't that right, Forrest?
That's exactly right.
That's awesome. So you're investing in it. Would you do more of what if you had to pick between stock or would you pick real estate? Which would you do?
That's a good one.
Ooh, man. I'll tell you what. I've always been a stocks guy, but because I've never had the money to invest in real estate, probably real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
especially
I can see it in front of me. You know what I mean?
exactly. It's not obviously.
And it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's they're not making any more of it. And so that's what
Exactly.
big thing in Florida, they say Florida's for sale. And so, the natural Florida land is getting bought up and it's just being built on top of.
And that's that stuff, dude. Like,
Yeah.
The last time I came down to Lakeland, like when I left, I was like, dang, like Lakeland's outgrowing its infrastructure. I came back, dude.
Oh,
You know
it's
that
unreal.
light? Right part of Lakeland Christian by the Sunoco?
Mhm.
Bro, I sat at that light for probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the hell is going on, dude? Like, when I was here, you got to that light, you were sat there for maybe 5 minutes. I was like, this is insane, dude.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I live 45 minutes from where Forrest is talking. I don't generally go to that area as much anymore, just because I don't like the busier cities. But within the 4 years of me being gone from college, it has grown exponentially. Like I used to be able to go from my house to our high school in about relatively 15, 20 minutes. If I were to do it now in the morning, it's taking every bit of 45 to an hour.
I think that's all over the state, though.
It's
I think
unreal. It's
That's what I've heard, man. It's sad, too, man. Like,
it's happening everywhere. Lake Wales did it again.
yeah,
Huh?
but.
All we can do is hold out.
Yeah. I guess got to maybe take a trip to Tennessee, get away from it all.
Good old Rocky Top. Woo!
Well, Forrest,
Hey, you guys are baseball guys. Come up and catch a baseball game.
I would
Good
absolutely love that. I would love
exactly.
that.
Yeah, that would be a blast. I know Brian's much more of a college baseball fan than I am, but I would love to go to either Mississippi State or Knoxville or any of
Oh,
them.
man, start Vegas. Nothing like it, apparently. So I'm told.
Have you been to a Tennessee? I'm sure you've been to a Tennessee baseball game, right?
Oh, yeah, dude. So my freshman year, like, I think that was the first year of Coach Vitello, his first year here. And we got some of the guys who played here. Like, we're not like Ole Miss or like Vandy. Those guys who had those guys who went on to play in the league. Did Chris Sale play at Vandy, or am I messed up?
Florida
Did he
Gulf
go-
Coast. Chris Sale, Florida Gulf Coast.
Florida Gulf Coast.
He played at Florida Gulf Coast.
You're
Okay.
thinking of David
There were some guys
Price.
who played-
David Price played at Vandy.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Like, we had like Todd Helton. Like that's,
Yeah.
Todd Helton. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head, but man, just in 4 years, what Coach Vitale has done with our baseball team is been very impressive. It's awesome. It's great for the university. It's great for Knoxville. They're getting a brand new stadium.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's awesome.
Good for
Yeah,
them.
it's
Might have to
great.
check that out when they finish building it, man. I'd love to.
100%.
Dude, we talked about checkering the stadium. They checkered the dang baseball stadium against Arkansas.
Really? I did not know
Yeah,
that. That had to been a cool sight.
It's a little bit smaller, but yeah, no, it was definitely cool though. It was definitely cool though.
That's awesome. Well, Forrest, thank you for coming on, man. I think that's about wraps it up.
Absolutely.
A cool thing that we do with every episode is we follow back our guests on Instagram. So if you've been on the podcast, we follow them back. And so if y'all ever want to check out Forrest or get in touch with him, maybe if you have any follow-up questions to ask him, we'll be following him on Instagram. And so you can go through our following list and look for the grad assistant at University of Tennessee.
Yep.
I'm
Rule One
always down to answer
Podcast.
questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Rule One Podcast on all of our platforms. Rule One Podcast, no hashtag.
Yeah, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, just about anything you can think of.
Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. It really helps us out, boosts us in the algorithms. Also, shout out to our fans. The Spotify Wrapped came out this past week, and Rule One Podcast was in the top 15 percentile of shared podcasts in the world. Not just, around here, in the world, bud.
So that's y'all literally
Yes.
sending it out to your friends, your family members, and helping us, reach people. And so we want to thank y'all 110%. We obviously wouldn't be able to do this without y'all. So
Absolutely. Well, partner, that's another great episode of the Rule One Podcast.
yeah, man. Thank you, Forrest, for coming on. We had a great time, and we definitely looking forward to maybe having a follow-up interview a couple years down the road.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys. It was awesome. Really enjoyed it, and me too, man. I hope so.
Go Vols.
Go Vols. That'll wrap it up for this week. We'll
All
see
right,
y'all
guys.
next week.